Hi guys, hello. Oh, I'm hot. As we're waiting for people to join, oh, I think we could maybe change the angle a little bit. I am going to be cutting, oh dear, there's some shoddy cutting here, guys. I did some speed cutting out of this. Speed cutting, because I realised, I thought I had a printed copy shop version of this pattern. Hi guys! But I did not, in my bag of patterns that I carry around with me at the moment. And so I had to quickly stick it together, print it off at home and stick it together. And so I ran out of time trying to cut it out. So I'll just quickly trim this whilst we're waiting for everybody to sign on. Actually, that's fine. That was okay. Oh, this is not okay. Oh, this is definitely not okay. Definitely needing a little bit of neatening up there. Oh, and a little bit there too. All right, let's just cut my notches in. And once I've done that, I will be doing my usual forgetful intro. Don't let me stop without doing an intro. A bit hot as well today. It was really cool this morning here in Yorkshire, and then it suddenly warmed up. La 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 la. Okay, almost there. Yep. That will do. Hello everybody, I am now ready. So welcome to this sew along, and we are going to be making the Sylvia Robe today. And I'm sorry that I'm not wearing one. I had intended to be wearing one, but I, as you all know, have ended up back in Yorkshire, and most of my stuff is back in London as the house wasn't ready, but I'd still unpacked, blah, 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 blah. So I'm in instead a Farah jumpsuit. So at least I'm in something that's handmade. And I also was hoping to make a long dressing gown version in a lovely crepe. In fact, I think we call it in the Nightingale Grove, which is so lovely. But however, that has not made it here. I spoke to our wholesale supplier, and he's 7 days behind currently, so he couldn't even send it to me for now. So never mind. He is, oh, what is that? Oh, someone's trimming the garden. Lovely. And so, yes, so I'm not going to get it until next week, but I am still going to make it because I was so excited about having a long dressing gown in that. But for this, I'm still going to make one with you all. I'm going to be making it out of Busy Blossom, which is my cotton lawn. And this is a soft drapey cotton lawn. So even though it's not the ideal fabric, if you are a beginner, then this would be a good fabric to make this out of. And I'm going to make it the long version of this, so I'm not extending it to floor length like I will with the actual long one that I want to make, but I'm still going to make a tie belt with it, and I'm going to put some belt loops on it, and I think it'll be a nice summer dressing gown. So, and it'll be very matchy because you know that I've got the pajamas to match. So there we go. So links to the pattern have been going up by Alex. So Alex is here to answer all your questions. If you're watching this after the live session, you can see all the links in the description box below. And Alex is linking to the fabric now. She's linking to the Farah jumpsuit. She's linking to the Sylvia. I'm keeping her very busy. And all of our sew-alongs, we've now done 43, 44, around 44, I think. This might be the 45th sew along. So we wanted these to be available to everybody, so they're all free to watch, but we just ask if you can, and we completely understand if you can't, but if you can, then you can show your support to us by giving us a donation through our Coffee or Ko-fi page, which is where you can buy us a virtual coffee for £3. So you might want to do that at the end if you think it was worth it. Right, let's get going. So I thought it would be nice to do French seams. However, I am slightly concerned about French seaming this angle, but I'm going to attempt it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to join our shoulder seams. So let's take our patterns off our fabric. And I'm hoping today that I will get to the point where I actually have the robe, and then tomorrow it'll be adding the neckband and doing the hems. If only I could show you a photo. I haven't managed to get one of her yet, but Jasmine today, and Alex will vouch for this as Jasmine appeared in our Zoom team meeting this morning, she is wearing our Poppy and Jazz pansy dress that I made yesterday with you all, those of you that were watching. So she looks absolutely lovely in it. Yeah, she loves it. It's a bit big on her, but I think that's good because it's gonna last then, isn't it? So I'm gonna try and capture a photo of her. But like, I do her hair, and she's got lovely hair, Jasmine, really thick, but also very slippy. And I do her hair, and within like 10 minutes, she looks like a feral child again. So, but I will try and do her hair and then get a nice photo of her in it and pop it up on our Instagram, because yeah, she does look lovely in it, and the short sleeves are really cute. So yeah, I'm feeling so much better today. Yesterday I was still feeling very tired from all of the move and driving up and down the country and all of that, but today, last night I went to bed with Jasmine at 8:15. Jasmine unfortunately is now on a rather late bedtime, but I just thought, do you know what, I could do some work, I could watch some Netflix, or I could do something that my body is crying out for, and that is sleep. So we both slept snuggled together in my bed as a little treat until about 6:15. Clocked in 8 hours. Not 8 hours, 10 hours, and I feel so much better for it. So I'm really glad I did that. Ooh. Yes. I was hoping this is what would happen, that I'd get a bit of a break and I would refresh. Oh, Sarah, hello. Sarah's here. That's nice to see. Everyone, Sarah is one of our lovely customers in London. And also one of our pattern insiders. Ooh. Now, right. Where did I put the actual bits? I seem to have made myself a right mess. Okay, here we are. So, we are going to take the fronts and the backs. Yes, it is a new pattern tomorrow. The general release of the PDF patterns coming out tomorrow. And Alex, am I allowed to say that we're using it for our sew along next week? Yeah, I think I've already said that actually. It's going to be the secret pattern that's on the schedule for the sew along next week, guys. Woohoo! I'm getting very confused with this. I'll get there, there we go. Okay, so first things first, if anyone else is doing French seams with me, then we are going to be doing, yes, this fabric is still available. It might have looked like it was sold out online, but I'm pretty sure it's gone back up again. We have got lots of it. This is my Lisa Comfort Busy Blossom cotton lawn, and I'm sure Alex will link to it if it is currently up. But Alex, we have lots, so if it's not up, it should be. So I'm going to do wrong sides together because I'm going to be doing some French seams. And if you're doing normal seams, then you can do right sides together. So if you're doing French seams, then the seam allowance is 1.5 centimeters. So it's 5/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to do this first seam at 1/4 of an inch or 5 mils. So, and hopefully then I don't need to trim it down. So really narrow. It always feels so wrong when you're doing this. Actually, I have got my glasses here. I might put them on today, even though I am feeling better. My eyes still could do with a bit of help. Okay, so nice little narrow seam done there. So let's go and do the other side. That is a sleeve. We do not want that. We are taking this. So yeah, I'm very excited about the general release of the pattern tomorrow rather. I absolutely love this pattern. This is our first complete lockdown pattern where Julie had to draft it. We did actually get a meeting in together before, and then she had to draft it and send the toile. And Nicole, who's a similar size to me, who does our patterns, she tried it on, took some photos, then she posted it up to me. I tried it on, then then I took photos, and that was hilarious because Mum and Dad had to pin it, and it took them so long to pin the back of it. I felt awful because my mum, I was like, just pin the back, take a tape measure and just pin the back. Now I hadn't told my mum to pin it like that, so you've got the two raw edges together and pinned down like that. She was overlapping it and trying to pin it, and she's like, this is so difficult, I'm gonna have to get your father. Anyway, and then while she was going to get Dad, I was like, oh no, sorry Mum, you got to redo the whole thing. Anyway, so Julie then made amendments based on what Nicole and I fed back to her all through WhatsApp, and then Julie made 2, no doubt beautiful samples that are still lost somewhere in a depot. I'm so upset because Julie's samples are beautiful. Anyway, Rosie made a sample and I made a sample, and Dad shot them quickly on me, just in time, the day before the PDF Club release. But yeah, I'm going to wear my dress, even though it looks like it might be quite a smartish dress. I wearing it with little white pumps, and I'm very excited about wearing it. Oh my gosh, I've just said dress. Shh. I'm going to stop talking before I say something. I'm already saying too much, aren't I? Alex, sure, don't tell me off. You didn't hear it, guys. Shh, don't say anything. Okay. So, we've now done both sides, 5 mils. I'm now going to press this. And what this does is it sort of sets the seam as well. So I'm pressing it first from this side. I am actually going to trim off a little bit because it's still annoying me how bad my cutting was. And I always find it when you're doing French seams, if you trim it off, the moment on the ironing board, the moment you've just pressed it, then you will get it's much easier. It's almost like it sticks a little bit to the base of the to the ironing board, and that makes it easier. I think Alex has just put up some information, guys, about the PDF Club. If you're not in it already, PDF Club, you get 10% off all of our PDF pattern releases, and you also get to find out about them a week before everyone else. Oh, come on, scissors. My scissors do need a bit of a sharpen post-lockdown. Okay, so trimmed that down a little bit, just neatened it really more than taking off anything. Now I'm going to press them to one side. It doesn't really matter which side you press them to because you're going to encase it. If you press it to one side, then you're going to flip that over, and then you can't really see, but then get that seam right on the edge and press it again. Ooh. steaming up in my glasses. Oh dear. Ooh. There we go. I'm going to pin that as well whilst I am, it's on there, because it will just hold it in place. So then I'm just pinning horizontally, sort of perpendicular to that seamed edge. Let me show you how I've just done that. Okay, so let's do the other side. Oh, oops. Oops. Now I've got that in the wrong way. Oh. Every day, and my dad keeps taking the iron to do his wonderful ironing every evening, and I'm just about to start kind of going live, and I realise that the iron isn't in the room and Dad's taken it again, and he's massively overfilled it this time as well. There's so much water in it, it's like gushing out. Oh. I feel like I'm getting proper FOMO on the chats today. Looks like there's lots of nice chatting going on. To wait till afterwards to have a look. Okay, both now done. So we took 5mm before, so now we've got 1 centimetre left, or 3/8 of an inch. So we took 1/4 of an inch, and now we've got 3/8 of an inch left. So now I am going to sew with that leftover seam allowance, so 1 centimetre. I do think on something like a dressing gown where it's going to have exposed seams, it's really nice to do French seams. Just so nice to have that all lovely and neat. And so, you know, if you get a flash of the side seam when you're in your dressing gown, you've got that lovely finish. Okay, so that's one done. Let's do the other one. So has anyone else been brave enough to properly cut their hair in lockdown? I've cut my fringe, but I'm really getting sick of my hair, so I am really seriously thinking of tackling it. Thinking of someone, a friend of my mum's was on the phone the other day, and she told my mum that she's bought thinning scissors, which are those scissors with the kind of like, I think they're like that. And so basically that helps you soften, so you can kind of cut the length and then soften it in. I'm thinking I'm gonna have a go. And I kind of tend to like, curl it and kink it when it's styled anyway, so I think that if it's not perfectly even, it would be okay. Ooh, fringe with clippers, very bright. Oh, yeah, I've cut my dad's, I've cut my mum's. I just haven't had the courage to cut my own. I think I'm going to. Because mum and dad have got some good scissors, but I thought I'm just going to get some sent to the house. My house, and so I might have a go at cutting it over the weekend if I've got time in between cutting all the boxes, unpacking all the boxes. Okay, so here we are. That is a French seam. That's how it looks when it's finished. Yeah, lovely and neat, completely encased all the raw edges. So now we're going to treat that as though it was a regular seam, and we're going to press it towards the back. So the back is the piece that was cut on the fold, the bigger piece. And then the same on here. Okay, lovely. I don't know why I'm finding this really awkward. There's so much of it. Oh, that's not good. Let's just check when you, from this side, that you have fully pulled it out. You don't want any overhang. on that seam. It's a bit easier to do that when you've done a French seam because it's thicker, so you don't always notice that you haven't really pulled out and flattened that seam as you're pressing it over. Right, there we go. Right, we now need our sleeve. We're going to join our sleeve. Now we've got, this is the edge that we're joining, which has got a very, very slight, yes, it will have a tie with it, absolutely. I'm going to make it as a dressing gown. So I'm going to make belt loops and a tie. I'll talk you through that at the end because I'll probably make my tie tonight. So yeah, we've got a little notch there. So that notch goes on the shoulder seam here. So if you're doing the French seams like I am, then we're going to do wrong sides together. Oops, turn that round. And if you're doing regular seams, then you need just to do right sides together, and then you will finish them with an overlock or a zigzag or pinking shears. So yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna make a tie belt, and I'm gonna make belt loops. I think I'll make the belt loops, that was northern. I'll make the belt loops with you guys, and the tie I'll probably just make tonight, because I think that will be too much to do with you. I still haven't hemmed those trousers. I really, really want to do that today so that I can wear them in tomorrow's Sewalong, my palazzo culottes. I was planning on doing it last night, but instead I went to bed at 8:30. Okay, so that's that one. Then let's do the same on the other side. Get that one ready. Make sure when you're lining it up that you keep your seam allowance pressed towards the back as well. Make sure you put a pin in the seam allowance just to keep it in that position. Getting really hot. What have we got here that I could just tie my hair with? Ooh, a bit of elastic from some masks. Still haven't had a chance to do those as well. I really want to get those done before I get back down. Finish my batch mask making. I think tonight will be about lots of sewing. Oh, that's better. I have to say, even though I'm finding my hair frustratingly naff when it's down, it is nice to be able to tie it up again. Oops. Okay, so same again, we're going to do 5 mils. Quarter of an inch. I love how quickly this comes together, it's brilliant. It really is fab. And it's so nice and easy for beginners because it's just lots of straight seams and no fitting. Oh! My bobbin ran out. Repin it before I start rethreading the bobbin. You can always put masking tape on your machine to help you see the markings on your machine better for seam allowance. That's what I used to do in textiles at school, because then they didn't have seam allowance markings. So, yeah. Oopsies. Oh, he's about to come off. Fly away. Right. Yeah, I really want to make to see you talking about the farrow, or someone was. I really want to make a summery farrow, because this is lovely, but it's cord. And it's quite a light cord, but even so, it's, if I was in London, I don't think I'd be able to wear this at this time of year. So I want to find a light. I thought I might try and make one in a, oh gosh, chambray. There we go. Thought it might be nice to have a chambray boiler suit, especially if I can find one in a lovely colour. I want a really bright coloured one for summer rather than a denim, because I've got quite a few denim kind of jumpsuit type things that weren't handmade. I've got one from Suzanne, one from Dorothy Perkins. Yeah, so I kind of want, and I've got some dungarees as well on Fat Face, so I really, yeah. Oh, linen, yeah, but wouldn't it crease loads? Yeah, with short sleeves, absolutely. Short sleeves, but still with the turn up. Linen would be lovely, but I think the creasing would really bug me. I'm terrible about, I get really annoyed about creasing. Ooh, that's one. Did I do the other one? No. Let's do the other side. So the sleeve. Yeah, tencel twill. Where can I get tencel twill from? Or viscose linen? Yeah, viscose linen would be good. That's true. I don't know where I could get a tencel twill from. I will now have to scour the internet. I haven't done any fabric shopping. Oh, Lamazi Fabrics. Oh, thanks. I haven't done any fabric shopping online for myself. Oh, really? Oh, amazing. Do you know what? I need to write that down. No, I don't need to write it down. It'll be there. Okay. So they both, and Minerva, so they both have the tencel twill. Is that what we're talking about? Oh, no, Sarah, sorry, I'm distracting you. Maybe that's why. Yeah, so wrong sides together, guys. Let me just check. I'm still doing that. Wrong sides together. Right, now we're going to set it and do a nice crisp press from the, just flat, press it flat. Wow, okay guys, thank you so much. I'm literally going to treat myself to that, I think, after this. I very, very rarely buy fabric for myself now, because obviously we used to always buy it for us. And it does feel like very indulgent, but do you know what? I think I've earned it. I think I've earned it. And I think I should be making myself something out of fabric that isn't something that I'm promoting for work, and it's just for me. So I'm going to have a look and no doubt probably buy more fabric, but and buy myself that. Thank you, guys. Because now that I've discovered the joys of my edge stitch foot, I'm going to really enjoy making this. Lots of edge stitch footness. So again, I'm just neatening that up, guys. I'm not really trimming that much off. So that's pressed. Now let's turn it the other way. Already it's looking, oh no, we need to press it to one side, don't we? Press it to one side. Doesn't matter which side, because it's going to get encased, as you've just seen with the other one we did. And then let's get that seam on the edge and press it in here. I'm just going to put some pins in as well, because that is going to move when I go and do the other side of the sleeve, because it's on that, there's a slight shape angle in there, so I just want to pin that side first so that when that hangs off the ironing board it doesn't move out of place. That one is done. Let's do the other one. Cut that off, and of course I've got that extra thread in the middle there from where my thread ran out, so I need to not forget about that. No, I've not done my setting. I keep forgetting, don't I? I need to do my setting first. Press that flat first from the top. I don't think this side looks like it needs trimming down. I've made that neater. Then we're going to press it to one side. I'm going to trim that off. Really getting hot. I've got a vest under here and I think I should not have put that on. I think it's the iron, being so close to the iron. So after I finish this today, I'm going to have an extra hour before Jazzy, and need to help out with Jazzy. So I'm going to be working on selecting the images for the new ebook, which is coming out soon, guys. I've teased about it already. It is weeks away, and yeah, so as you know, I went to India to shoot it back in January, February. It was January, wasn't it? Yeah, it was January. And we took 2,000 photos. 2,000 photos, and I have the painful job of going, not painful, but I've got to go through them and select probably about 20 from 2,000. So yeah. Right. It'll be nice to go back and look at it and remember all the wonderful places we took the photos. Such a magical trip that was. I will never ever forget it. It was a trip of a lifetime, and especially now it really was. I feel very lucky that I managed to get that in this year. Right, so now we're just doing our centimetre seam allowance. Checking that. I just thought the tension looked a bit funny there, but it's fine. Okay, that's that one done. Let's do the other one. I have to say, even though this is not the perfect fabric for this robe, it is definitely easy doing French seams in cotton rather than crepe. Crepe just doesn't press as well, so it does make it a lot harder. You have to pin a lot more. Okay. Oops. Trim those off. Trim those off here. And then we are going to now press the seam down towards the sleeve. Oopsies. And that, because of the French seam, it will feel that that's the way it's meant to go. Because that French seam, if I can just show you, oh gosh, how lovely does that intersection, that T-junction of seams look. Oh, so lovely. Oh, French seams. Does take a while, but it is worth it. Maybe I should give this to my mum. I was thinking, since I'm not going to need it, she doesn't have a summer dressing gown, she just has a big winter one. Yeah, she wears, I've got a cotton one actually, saying that cotton aren't great, but I do have a cotton one that I have for Mum when she comes down in London, and she always wears it, so maybe I should give her this. She'd like that. Oopsie daisies. Okay. So now we are going to do the side seams. So again, if you're doing right side, if you're doing French seams, then you're going to do wrong sides together. Okay, you should have, I'm here at the sleeve, you should have a notch, balanced notch there, help you line up there. Then you want to line up your two shoulder seams. Make sure your seam allowances are still painting in the painting. Painting, where did that come? Facing in the same direction. I've obviously got my mind on my house that's currently being painted. So I'm painting the stairs, or rather they're painting the stairs white, like I had in the old flat, and I'm going to do some wallpaper on the stair rise. And yeah, the poor builder, he has to wait for everybody or whoever's working with him that day. Now that things have been lifted a bit, he's got more workmen helping him. So they're still obviously socially distancing, but he's not just doing it with his dad. And so he has to wait for them to go, and then he basically paints the stairs and then leaves it overnight to dry. It is a pain having to paint stairs white. But yeah, it'll look good. But I was gonna get a stair runner by Roger Oates, which is a really lovely runner company, and they I had the runner from them in my last place, but it's so expensive. They're beautiful but very expensive, and I just can't afford it. So I thought I'll do my wallpaper idea instead, because that's always lovely. And I'll open the front door and I'll see that lovely flash of colour on the wallpaper. And I've got a cast iron radiator, and I've had it sprayed teal. It's the second time though it's been sprayed, because the first time it was a bit too bright. Okay, so now we're going to sew those exactly the same with 5mm seam allowance. And if you're doing regular seam allowances on the regular seams on this, you would have placed these right sides together, and you'd be using your seam allowance of 1.5 centimetres at 5/8 of an inch. So I'm just negotiating that underarm curve. I didn't need to do any pivoting, you just need to take it up slowly so that you can keep it smooth. How are we doing for time? 40 minutes. So I think we're gonna hopefully get at least one side seam done and get to the point that I want it to. Okay, I think I'm going to have to stand up for this, guys, because it's a big piece that I now need to press. Okay. Get that cord on that side. So, this is it here. I'm just going to start from the sleeve, press that. And I am definitely going to trim some, but I'm going to just press it all first on this side. Because I'm going to have to, in order to negotiate that curve in the French seam, I'm going to have to really trim down the seam allowance. Maybe even clip into it as well. Okay, so that part, let's just neaten this up. This was a bit of a shoddy cut by myself down here. Let's see if I can put this on there. So I'm just trimming down. At the moment I'm just taking off the rough edges. I'm not worrying about trimming too much. It's only when we get to that curve that I'm going to have to trim quite a bit off so that it can sit properly once it's finished. Okay, here we go. I'm into the curve, so I'm going to trim down the seam allowance by half of what it was, really taking it to about 3 mils at that point, and then I'm just going to trim the rest of it. So it's neater, not trimming down the same amount down that side. Get rid of all that. Okay, I think that's fine. I don't really want to snip into it, so I'm hoping, because that's literally about 2 millimeters from the seam, I think that should be okay. So now we're going to do the same stage where we press it to one side. A little bit of wispiness there, it needs to just disappear, otherwise that's going to start peeking out of the finished seam. So you basically don't want any wispy bits of fabric, because that will then just peek out and kind of get stitched into the seam when it's finished. It's hard to then neaten it without trimming off your French seam. So I can go up to there, and then on this sleeve here, I'm going to have to flatten it, shake it like that to get the seam there. Don't press at the folds there, just keep your iron in the middle. And the sleeves are nice and wide, so that should make it relatively easy. Then we are going to fold it back on itself. Oh, sorry guys. And then we're going to fold it back on itself and do our next bit of pressing. So rolling it so that that seam gets right onto the edge. And I need to think about how, I need to really be doing it from this side because I'm going to be sewing it from the underarm down. So I wanted just to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to put some pins in like I've been doing. So pinning as I press it in. So you'll see me do this licking, and it just gives you more, helps you grip the fabric better when you're doing this rolling of the seam. Like that. Helps. Okay, that bit now needs to be pressed. So what you'll be able to tell is whether you've trimmed enough of the seam allowance at this curve in the sleeve, underarm rather, because that is now sitting absolutely fine. It's curving round, so I've definitely trimmed enough there. So I'm really pleased that I didn't cut into it because I didn't need to clip into it. That's fine. I think it will be a bit puckered under there when it's finished. Not puckered as in stitch, but it's going to kind of, when it goes back the other way, it will be a little bit, not back the other way, it's already the other way. Yeah, sorry, from the outside you're going to get a little bit of pulling, but it should be fine. That's the worst bit, to check that that's sitting properly now. So if you think you've now essentially got your garment as it would be if it was inside out, so if it's looking okay now, then that should be fine. Okay, let's get that rolled. Okay, so that now is all lovely and pressed, so I can go in and do that. Centimetre seam allowance again. Almost at the end now, and then it'll be over to the other side. Oh, I was trying to read a comment and I sewed over a pin. Okay, so now we just need to press, whoopsie daisies, here we are, need to press it towards the back, but can you see that's my, there it is there, and there it is here. Oh no, there we go. How lovely does all of that lovely seam finishing look? Just fab. So I'm going to press that towards the back, and then I'm going to go ahead and start doing the other one. So whilst I'm doing the other one, because I'll just be repeating what I've already done, I'll talk you through the how we need to prepare for belt loops and things, what we're doing for that, and making a tie. I'll just quickly do this, and then I'll just focusing on this, pressing it towards the back, guys. Okay. So, tie. Tie belt is really easy. I mean, there are, what did we do with a tie belt at the beginning? Oh, well, we did the eave, didn't we? So I think probably the eave is slightly too narrow, so I'm going to make mine wider. But the way that I constructed the tie with tie belt for the eave is exactly what I'll do. So I will cut a strip. So if you think about what your finish width you want to be, add on a centimetre for seam allowance, and then also double that, because you need to basically take your fabric and fold it like so. You'll stitch down your seam allowance, and then you'll turn it through, and it will be double thickness, and it will be the width that you want. So and then I would stitch across the top and then down, and then do that trick with the safety pin where you drop the safety pin in and then turn it in, and then that way you've got a nice finished at one end, and then you can just top stitch the other end or slip stitch it if you want to. That's what I do for the tie belt, and also just tie something like a tape measure or a length of fabric around you, just to check how much you want, because you might not want a super long one. You might want one, you know, just big enough to tie a bow, or get that length right as well. Then the belt loops, I'll make those up with you, but you essentially, I'm just trying to think what you're going to need. If you think belt loops are about maximum a centimetre wide, so you're going to need to cut a rectangular strip that's maybe 4 centimetres wide, because we'll stitch it together. Yeah, I guess it's almost like turning it into rouleau loops, but I don't have a rouleau loop turner, so do you know what? Don't prep that, just have some fabric, a little amount of fabric, we don't need that much, and I'll do a little test and see what's best, because I don't have a rouleau turner, and I think that would, the technique I was going to use would be a lot easier if I did, but yeah. And then, oops, yeah, so tomorrow we'll be doing the neck bands. Well, we have to join it at the back, don't we? And then attach that, and we'll do the belt loops, how to position them, and also how to make them, so you can do this as a dressing gown. Only got 7 minutes left, haven't I? Well, I might as well sew with you guys until that's up. Tomorrow I'm going to go and do a big food shop, because the supermarkets down in London have really long queues, and up here in Yorkshire there are queues but nowhere near as much, and also there's just, when you get inside, it's a lot more spaced out. So I'm going to go do a massive shop for the new house. I would do that, I guess you do that anyway when you move into a new place, because you don't, you know, I think I must have packed a few bits and bobs of food, but not really, because I didn't want to spend money on storage of food. Yeah, so I'm quite excited about doing that. Really looking forward to it. I don't know why, but I am. Stocking up my house with food. I'm going to plan tonight my meals that I'm going to have, because obviously I want to get as much as I can, so I don't have to keep going back to the supermarkets, but I also will only be a limited amount of space in the freezer particularly, so yeah, I don't want to be buying things that will then go out of date. We're going to do some meal planning. for a bit of batch cooking. Anyone else do batch cooking? Feel like it's your working parent or even just working person's saviour, really. My problem is that if I batch cook, sometimes I batch cook and then I forget to like buy things that I can put it into the little boxes in the freezer. So I'm basically eating it for like 3-4 days. Yes, I have all my furniture in there. It's all in there, piled up. That's what I was doing on Saturday. All the furniture is in, all my stuff, literally all my worldly goods are all currently in the house. But they are it's still unpacked. Oh, lots of people are batch cooking. Yeah, that's true. It's definitely a more wintry thing, isn't it? I think as well, because we're not so fussed about eating really well cooked home meals, aren't we? In the winter, in the summer. Salads and things are what you want. But there's a nice grocers, like green grocers, right by where I live. So I think I can get lots of fresh fruit and vegetables easily. And I was wanting to get a milkman. So milkman, I think, is quite a British phenomenon. We have one here, and they basically deliver the milk overnight on your doorstep in glass bottles. And it's quite unusual to have one in London, but there is a milkman in Walthamstow, but they're not taking any new orders at the moment. I think just because they're not taking on new customers, so they're so inundated. But my friends found something else, so it's not quite the same. You don't get the glass milk bottles, but you do get, they deliver fresh bread, and they deliver yogurts, and milk, and orange juice. So, but yeah. And then I'm going to get myself on my waiting list for my, like, I literally have been so excited about getting a milkman. Oh, you have a milkman. Yeah, I don't know why. I've been so excited about it. I think I just love that. It's very much for me because I grew up always with milkman, and I also love the fact that it's, you know, not wasting plastic. So, and the convenience, of course, because milk, especially when you have a little one, is always the thing that I seem to run out of, and it's the thing that you can't cope without. I mean, there were times when I was in the other house when, you know, I was already on my own with Jasmine, and I'd be about to, you know, get her, I'd do the bath, we'd come out of the bath, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, I've completely forgotten milk. I'd run out of milk. And so I'd have to put a coat on her over her pyjamas and walk to the corner shop. Or text my neighbour, and but she's got 3 little girls, so she would need all her milk. But yeah, it was a thing that used to catch me out all the time. Oh, lots of people have milkman. Yeah, in London it's not. I think the guys, you could have got one in Hackney, but I wasn't there long enough to sort it out. And Becca, you know, the lovely Becca from Sewoverit, who's on maternity leave at the moment, she has this milkman, or she used to have them, and she can't have them anymore because she's in a block of flats, so she can't have the milk delivered easily. But she rated this milkman in Walthamstow because she also lives in Walthamstow. So, oh. Right. Okay, so I've trimmed it down there the same. Now I'm going to press it. Do you know what, guys? It's already been an hour, so I'm not going to just stand up there and press it so you guys spend the last minute looking at that. I think we'll leave it there. So this is the stage we want to get to. It's just basically we have the kimono finished. Da-da, in terms of like the shape is created. So this is where we're getting to. I'll just need to finish my French seams. And this is very much the length. So this is, I'm 5'6", and the long version of this is actually fine for a long one. It's about there. So, oops, So yeah, so you don't need, if you want to make like a summer length dressing gown, then that probably would be fine for you. It goes to about my knee. But if you want to make a full length one, then obviously you'd add that on. Right, let's leave it there for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Thank you to Alex for answering all your questions. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I made a small, guys, sorry, I made a small. And I will be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Link will be going up shortly for our coffee page if you want to make a donation. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.